universe.
Discover the power within you.
Discover the Power Within You, which is this incredible book that
Eric Butterworth.
Eric Butterworth here, Discover the Power Within You. And he talks about, I love this book. And what we were talking about earlier is that I was really never into Christ or Christ's message before because it was all this rhetoric of religious rhetoric, be fearful of doing this and you'll go to hell or whatever. You do this and you're going to be punished, Where I think more of the powerful message is create what you want with your life, Don't do any harm onto anyone else, but create what you want with your life. So this incredible book, Eric Butterworth, Discover the Power Within You, and that's actually going to be part of the basis for the talk I'm going to be doing on the 28th at the library, 6:30 to 7:30, and there's limited seats, so we need to have people call if they're interested in coming to it.
Really?
Yeah, there's limited seating.
Okay.
So if you just show up, you may not get a seat. You have to call my office and schedule, reserve a seat. There's no cost for it.
Right here at the Allen County.
And right here at the Allen County Library. But a couple little quotes that I'd like to read to you here from this is.
Did you know that I facilitate that class?
You were telling me that earlier.
Discover the Power Within You.
Yeah, you were telling me that earlier.
Yeah.
This is not just a it's not just a Christian thing either. Once again, I was saying that this is not a religious thing. This is a spiritual thing. So even though we're talking about Christ and Christ's ideas, it's to basically to integrate that into everybody's lives, and also to help the people who consider themselves Christians or who are Christians who believe in Christ, to help them be able to integrate these ideas into their life, that it's not a New Age thing. It's something that Christ was saying all along, and something that we can do to have the lives that we want.
Yeah, a new way of seeing.
A new way of seeing, and I think, we're just all moving towards that. But, there's a little, talking about how this is intertwined with other religions. There's according to an old Hindu legend, there was a time when all men were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take it away from men and hide it where they would never find it again. Where to hide it became the big question. So when the lesser gods were called in council to consider this question, they said, "We will bury man's divinity deep in the earth." But Brahma said, "No, that will not do, for man will dig deep down into the earth and find it." Then they said, "Well, we'll sink his divinity into the deepest ocean." But again, Brahma replied, "No, not there, for man will learn to dive into the deepest waters. We'll search out the ocean bed and we'll find it." Then the lesser gods said, "We will take it to the top of the highest mountains and hide it there." But Brahma again replied, "No, for man will eventually climb every high mountain on earth. He will be sure someday to find it and take it up again for himself." Then the lesser gods gave up and concluded, "We do not know where to hide it, for it seems there is no place on earth or in the sea that man will not eventually reach." Then Brahma said, "Here is what we will do with man's divinity. We will hide it deep down in man himself, for he will never look there to find it."
Divine love.
So, we all have that, once again, we all have that divinity within us, and it's something we just need to realize to have that realization that we have that divinity, we have the power to create what we want.
Yeah, once in a while my humanness challenges me.
Well, all of us do.
And I quickly, habitually have learned to shift back to recognize that divinity in everyone.
Right. And it's easy to get into a negative mode because we have such so much negativity going on around us, with the wars going on, earthquakes going on, and other things going on. And I think it's a matter of keeping our focus on what we want and how we want to create, what world we want to have to create. And it's a matter of me, you, and other people who are all becoming more connected to this consciousness, to this ability to manifest, that are going to be able to change the world.
Well, I know now why I have the last name Lynch. I am to link it all together.
Okay.
Where Oprah Winfrey's, I'd link us all together. That just
neat.
came to me today during my
that.
meditation.
That's nice. I like that.
Once in a while I think, well, in setting goals though, sometimes I think, I start shoulding or woulding or putting on myself. I could be here or could be there, I need to be there. And yet, when you go back into the Christ-centered part of myself, say, I'm okay, right where I am. I'm right where I need to be. This is where it is.
Oh, yeah.
All is swell.
Right.
Right.
That
balance that you were talking about earlier.
Right. And I'm going to read a couple things out here because I can't remember these things when we're talking about.
Emmett Fox.
This is Emmett Fox.
Oh,
this is from the Sermon on the Mount.
Beautiful.
Okay, so excellent information. Anybody who wants to read more about this, Emmett Fox, Sermon on the Mount. But I just wanted to read one thing out of here that I thought was significant for all of us and for today. And the title of this chapter 3, is "As a Man Thinketh." Okay, he says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." And then it goes on to say, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and give it light unto all that are in the house. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." I mean, how powerful is that? We are all light. We are all messengers. We are all connected. He's saying in that, this was from Matthew 5. This was, something that, how powerful is that? We are all that light. Let our light shine. Why think small? Why, think small in any way of our life, of what we can have or what we can create, whether it's our health or our life or a new car. A
new car.
A new car. Why not?
Back to that Jeep Angel
Why not?
Mobile.
Why not? Right.
Oh, well, hey, let's segue a little bit and go into a little bit of chatting about taking care of our bodies.
Okay.
You started to talk about that a little bit earlier.
I was talking.
I think we have about 15 minutes left.
Okay, we have about 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, time flies, doesn't it, when we're having fun?
Is that amazing?
Oh, it is, because I'm just enjoying here talking to my friend, and hopefully other people out here are getting the message and getting what they need out of it.
And sometimes know this. Sometimes when we don't get a call, it's because the message is so good. And
they're just letting it sink in.
Yeah,
they're letting it sink in.
Yeah, and that's okay.
So what I was talking about with our lives and our health, as far as physical health, is that we can basically have blockages in our body from healing, and it can either be physical blockages, such as one of our organs isn't working properly, and that organ may not be working properly. I think we talked about this before, that our organs are related to our emotions. Okay, so the liver is related to anger, gallbladder is related to resentment, the lungs are related to grief. Okay, grief. Kidneys are related to fear. So when we have certain emotions that we are holding on to, something maybe trauma from the past.
What about the heart?
The heart is related to I would think our it's sorrow and grief, sorrow and heartache. There's something else too, but
okay.
Yeah. So sorrow.
I bet you somebody out there's thinking the heart too.
So, I didn't name everything, but basically, if we're holding on to certain emotions in our body from past trauma, it can affect our organs. And so, a lot of the times, I don't know I think they say like 80% of at least if not more, 80% of the physical problems we have start from an emotional basis. And so, what we can do with the acupuncture and other things is that we can find out where those blockages are, if it has to relate it to like for example, if it relates to the lungs. We had this example in class of the instructor talking about a patient that he had, and she had thought she thought she had this incredible relationship with this man, and she thought he was, she was the love of her life and this and that. She got in the relationship and moved out, to be with him, and found out he was very abusive and was just a terrible situation. So as she was escaping to actually get away from him, like to be incognito so he couldn't find her, she was going over the Golden Gate Bridge and she created this cough, or she started coughing. And so when she went to go see the acupuncturist, my instructor, he was like, well, when did this start? She goes, well, she told him the story and said, I started coughing when I was going over this bridge. And he says, well, thinking to himself, well, the lungs are related to grief. Okay?
Yeah, but I would also wonder, why would she remember, well, the Golden Gate Bridge?
Well, because that's when she was crossing to go.
To leave him.
To leave him.
I see.
Yeah.
I was just there last week, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. And
but
so
she was crossing the bridge when she began to cough and developed this cough that she continued to have when she saw the acupuncturist. And so he realized that related to grief. The lungs relate to grief. He put an acupuncture needle in her lung one point, and the cough went away. So that's how our bodies can hold on to these emotions. So, I'm so glad you asked about that, because we're not only dealing with the physical part, but we're also helping to deal with the emotional part. One of the courses I just took recently was acupuncture points for psycho-emotional problems.
Oh,
so anxiety, depression, other things along those lines, post-traumatic stress problems, even for negative energy that you may have picked up from somebody else. Okay? So it's to release that energy that you may be holding on, that when we're around negative people, we can pick up negative stuff if we're not careful. We don't protect ourselves.
Yeah, I think so deeply that I think that even when I sense that it doesn't have to be people, it's just the whole, as a whole,
right,
seems to be in a fear mode. I work with that power within me to clear that too.
Yeah, that's incredible right now. The fear mode is just incredible. We see people running around in fear and what's going to happen next. We got all these earthquakes going on. But back to what I was talking about before about the body and healing, actually. So what I'm looking at when I'm treating somebody is I'm actually looking at what's causing this problem, what started this problem, rather than giving you an herb that says, okay, this will help with your cough. That's not any different than giving you a drug that's going to just help with the symptoms. So we really want to get to what the actual cause is. We want to get to, and that's what we're always working towards, is whether it's back pain or headaches or digestive problems or female problems or whatever that may be, anxiety. We're looking to find out what that problem, where it started from, and helping to remove the blockage so that the body can heal itself. And so we also deal with the supplements, nutritional supplements, that will help to cleanse out the physical part of the body, get rid of the toxins, so that our body can heal itself. One of the things I wanted to mention is that a lot of people do not realize that there's such a big ganglion of nerves in our intestinal system that releases serotonin.
Okay.
That's a feel-good drug, okay? A natural drug in our bodies. Then it's made in our brain. So if our intestinal system, because of the bad things a lot of people eat, junk food and lots of sugar and corn syrup and different things that they're taking in their bodies, if our intestinal system's messed up, how is that serotonin going to be able to work properly? How are we going to be able to get the proper supply of serotonin and the other things that we need from our system? Most of our body revolves around our digestive system. If you've ever seen an iridology chart, everything forks out from there on the spokes of the iridology chart that relate to the intestinal system. So that's a huge part of our body and healing. So, the overall thing would be we're looking at to find out what's going on with the person, finding out where that blockage is, and even going even further than that, we're going to be teaching these meditation and stress reduction classes that people can even go further than that, go deeper to create what they want.
Oh, by the way, that little meditation that you facilitated earlier, I included a house in there too.
Oh, nice. Why not?
Why not?
Why not have what you want?
Yeah, I just thought I'd let you know.
Okay, cool.
So then when it manifests, I can celebrate with it.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, invite me over. I want to be at the open house.
Oh, it may not be in this area.
Well, wherever you're meant to be. You know, I think that's the thing. We have to be open to wherever wherever we need to be or whatever we need to do to let Spirit guide us. You know, once again, we need to take actions, but we can get, information for where we need to be or what we need to be doing.
I want you to know that it was 10 years that I've been doing this show.
Wow, congratulations.
10 years with Bo Show. You've been on my weekly show, TV Angels Talk, Soul Relationships with Sandra.
Yeah.
And you've been on another episode of TV Calling All Angels Hotline, and you're on the internet now.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, up there on a few clips, and Power of Intention is to build a server for the website.
All right.
Angels at God Central Station, all on the net. And we have about, how many minutes do we have left, Lance? We have only 15 minutes left.
Wow, this is just flown by.
Oh, and one other thing I wanted to just bring to your attention. For the month, there are several books of The Power Within You. Mm-hmm. This month, the power is wisdom.
Oh, wisdom.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I think that's something we can all use and tap into that wisdom. Mm-hmm. Tap into believing the wisdom that we have within us. Basically tap into our intuition also of knowing what we need to do or what actions we need to take. Listen to that inner guidance. Mm-hmm. You know, what they talk about, our gut, your gut feeling. You know, if you feel like something's not quite right, there's a reason for that. If you feel like there's something telling you go to wherever, then do that. Okay, so, but I just love these quotes from this book. Though I want to read one more right now, and it just, these are just so powerful. And one of the ones, this is the one I'd like to read right now, is, "Ask and it shall be given you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened." So I think that's a huge message for everybody.
And again, for me, since I know this idea of constant manifestation. Mm-hmm. Today, I was thinking at home as I was preparing for the show. I was just playing a game, after I came out of meditation, just give my mind a rest, because then Spirit then floods me with what I can kind of direct through this show. Okay. And I was getting about having the faith of a mustard seed.
Oh, sure.
If you should just have the faith of a mustard seed, it's so small.
Oh, sure.
So small and so magnificent.
That's true. That's powerful. Mm-hmm. Just beginning to have that faith, and I think if nothing else, that just putting that seed in there, that anything is possible, and that you can create anything with your life. One of the things I was going to mention earlier, that I don't know how much time we have left.
We have time.
Okay.
We have enough time.
So one of the things I was going to mention earlier, I went to a seminar in Chicago at Equilibrium. It's an Equilibrium Healing Center. It's called Equilibrium Healing and Energy Center. But they have different people that come from all over the U.S. and all over the world that talk about different topics. Well, there was a man there who has discovered a way to cure cancer in mice by doing energy work. And so what
Would you please repeat that?
He has been able to cure cancer in mice by doing energy work, by laying on of hands. Oh. And he was one of the best. I'm just going to make this kind of short because I don't know how much time we have left. But he was one of the biggest. The funniest thing is he talks about it. He's one of the biggest skeptics about any of that stuff.
Okay.
He didn't believe it in the first place that it was even possible. And even when I heard about this class, I was like, is this real? Or is there some kind of a little disclaimer, somewhere along the lines? But he has actually done these experiments with these mice, and talking about limitations. He was working with this famous healer who had done some energy work in the past. His name is Grad. Okay, and they were talking about how he was doing it and what kind of cages the mice were in, and it's like, because they were trying to figure out is there something else going on, magnetic field or whatever that may be that. And he's like, okay, well, what kind of cages are the mice in? And he's like, well, they're, what are the walls made out of? He says, well, they're made out of plastic. and the guy this grad who's the famous healer says, "Oh, you can't heal through plastic." And the guy who taught the class was like, "Well, nobody told me." You know? So that was one of his grad's limitations, was that he thought you couldn't heal through plastic, and this guy didn't know that, so he was able to do that. But he has done control studies on mice, and found, he actually went to Indiana University and a couple other universities and did control studies there, where he actually had a control set of mice and another set of mice who they actually injected with something that would actually form cancer in a mouse, and they were able to repeat it and to show that he was able to heal these mice. And you would think that the university would be like, "Oh, he's like, "I would like to do more research, on this," and how he's actually found that when he took blood from one of the mice that was sick, or that was healed, and put it in a mouse that was sick, that mouse also was healed. So
says a lot. Says a lot.
It says a lot about what we think is possible. So when he did some of his initial studies, he wouldn't even take people as subjects to be control subjects to actually teach them how to do this. He wouldn't take people. He said if somebody said, "Oh, that's cool, I think that's possible," he said, "Oh, you can't do it." He wanted only people who were very skeptical and were like, "Oh." He said if they laughed in his face, they were in, because he didn't want people who. He didn't want I guess I don't know why he didn't want the faith part to be part of it, like thinking that was possible. But anyway, he repeated his studies. He was actually able to teach other people how to do this, and that was the class that he taught that I went to a while back.
So did you learn?
I did learn.
Oh, you did.
Right.
So
But I would never say, and anything that I do.
Were you skeptical?
Well, anything that I would do, I'm just going to put a disclaimer that anything that I would do.
Yes.
Is I'm not healing a person, whether I find out what their blockages are, or I give them a supplement to take, clean out their body, or to rebuild their body. I'm not healing their body. They're healing their body. Their body is healing itself. Okay, I'm just facilitating that healing. Yeah. So the same thing with the energy work. I think that we're facilitating that healing, and once again, letting go of that skeptical thought of, is this possible?
I just have to say this. I think it's incredibly exciting that you are adding a spiritual blend to your public service.
Thank you.
I think it's the right time, right here, right now. And I think the idea of the cleansing is so healthy for anybody at this time of the year.
Oh, yeah.
We're approaching the Easter service. A lot of I think that there's more emphasis on Easter than there is Christmas for me, because in my own sense, I do ascend. I do. It's a process I go through, and it's a very deep cleansing process. So I'd be interested in looking at some of that cleansing.
And, part of it is the cleansing of the physical cleansing.
Yes.
But another part is the cleansing of our minds.
Absolutely.
Letting go. Once again, I've said it, many, many times tonight, is letting go of those limitations. And we all have limitations that we have in our minds. It's a matter of coming to that higher level of awareness, that higher level of consciousness, and starting to see some of these things. Start out, maybe, people who don't believe this is possible, start off with something small and manifest that, and work your way up in baby steps to knowing that you can create what you want with your life.
Oh, absolutely. I get so excited with the little things that I manifest. I mean, from $20 to a car to, just the next thing. It's so exciting because those are miracles to me.
Right.
It's a miracle of co-creating.
And all that once, like what I was saying earlier, all that's great. We should have nice material things too, but the manifestation doesn't have to be all material either. It could be, being manifestation of being more in touch with God or consciousness, or having more of that insight, whatever that may be for that person. But it can be a lot of different aspects, and not just, could be having better relationships, could be having, better relations with family or friends, or creating better relationships. So it doesn't all have to be material things, but I think there's nothing wrong with the material things also, you know.
You know what, Dave? I was thinking about this today. I was thinking, you know, just because I'm spiritual doesn't mean that I'm not challenged.
Sure, we're all challenged.
To me, what it means is having more of a sense of peace, of walking through life, and on Spirit's path, though, because I really, really work, and that's my job, to be Spirit-led.
Right.
Through the meditations and the prayer and that consciousness.
Yes.
Being conscious.
Oh, that's so huge, because so many of us are walking around like zombies every day, and we're just basically going through the motions, you know. We're waiting for the weekend to come so we can have a few days off, and then, you know, go back and do it again. And it's like, I was just telling Linda the other day, it's like, you know, this last year just flew by, and this last month flew by, and it's like, you know, having more of that consciousness all the time of you know, just being in touch and being conscious of what's going on and enjoying the moment at that moment, rather than always looking at the past or looking to the future, focusing on that moment. And I think if we focus on that moment and the thoughts of what we want, then we'll be able to create that.
Do you know what, Dave? My weekends are actually Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I do some really exciting things from Thursday through Sunday. A lot of promotions and things like that.
Well,
so
you know what? With me, I love my work so much, and I enjoy working with people so much, and helping people so much, and helping them to create the lives that they want and the health that they want. That you know, for me, it's not work. I really enjoy it, and the busier we are, the more fun it is. Because the more people we have, and it's just incredible right now what's happening, is because these things that we're manifesting is that people are getting better so much faster in my office, and it's just like, I mean, they're just getting better at incredible speeds, and it's exciting to see. But we want to help more and more people.
There's a song Richard McDeesey wrote. He's one of the New Thought songwriters, and I'm just going to sing because it's almost time to end the show. It's like, I'm getting better every minute. It's real hippie. It's really cool. Maybe I'll play it in the end later on, but you know what? It is time to end the show. It flew. Can you
it did. It flew by. It did fly by.
1 hour just flew by.
Oh, it just incredible. But you know, I think that once again we're moving towards this higher level of consciousness. People who are not willing to move towards that are probably going to be left behind, or they will.
The Left Behind series.
They will be. You know, they won't.
Well, we'll love them too.
We can love them, but they may not make it to the next level, as the world is changing and all the 2012 things are coming about.
That's the next show.
That's a cleansing.
That's the next show, Dave. It's time to go.
I'd love to talk about that.
We got to fly out of here. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on. Will you come back again?
Oh, yeah.
Will you?
Yes, I'd love to.
Well, we'll wait and see what Linda tunes in to manifesting for us, okay? It's
Okay.
all Linda. Linda, you did it.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you again for taking your time to stop, look, and listen in our divine appointment here tonight on another fun episode of TV Calling All Angels Hotline. I'm Sandra with Dr. Dave Vargus. And do you remember how I close the show, Dave? We're both here to say what? How? What is it?
I do not remember, but I remember last time I remember it was, I can't remember.
It's all about divinity, Dave.
Okay.
Divine love.
Divine love.
And holy kisses.
And holy kisses to everybody out there.
Yeah, the holy kisses is miracles to me.
Okay.
Holy kisses.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, create miracles in your life. Create miracles for all of us. Create the life that you want. And see us at the library.